It's WG, bring your SMB and welcome to another vid. Today we'll be checking out Valora, her full kit as well as her performance, so we can get a good idea, or at least a decent one, on how close she is to Timeless Aeona. And yes, I am getting cooked too on the mobile, on the PC client. Best fix someone came up with was like going into your folders and changing this to read only, but more reliably is probably waiting for the devs to actually fix this. But hey, that's not what we're here for. We're here to check out Valora. So if you want to access the trials, you go to the events tab on the side and then you go down all the way to Trial Covenant. Okay, Valora, what do you have for us? 21,528 battle power. That should be second highest in the game. I mean, we can check rather easily. Yes, second highest in the game, with Timeless Aeona being 22.5, so it's still 1k difference. But what else does she have? So we have 10,000 attack, 168,000 HP, and then 3,000 and 3,000. With the talent, Valora increases her attack and crit rate based on the range of Hellfire by up to 40%. So it's not her increasing her damage, it's her increasing her attack. That is crazy. Okay, all enemies within range of Hellfire gain Soulburn. When casting her ultimate, she gains a shield equal to 30%, lasts until ultimate ends. During this period, when any of Valora's shields are broken, Valora becomes untargetable for 2 seconds. Any, which means you could be applying a shield from, let's say, Starry-Eyed Aeona to her during her ult, and she would still gain the untargetable, which is interesting. But I think all shields count as the same, but whatever. Alright. Furthermore, Soulburn increases crit damage taken by 20%, and that increases by 5% every 3 seconds to up to 40%. So not only can she gain up to 40% crit rate, 40% more attack. 40% more attack is ridiculous, like ridiculous. She can also make enemies take up to 40% more crit damage. And that can work together with T Aeona. Keep that in mind, like T Aeona can also crit. Everybody can crit. Okay. Then we have the basic attack dealing 150% damage. Then we have Steely Resolve. When the battle begins, rushes forward and deals 600% attack physical damage to the first enemy hit, creating the Hellfire circle around them for 15 seconds and marking them as the target. Hellfire deals 150% attack physical to enemies in range within every 1.5 seconds and passively triggers every 7 seconds, causing all Hellfires on the field to explode, dealing physical damage equal to 200 times of base damage to enemies within range, guaranteed crit. Alright, Spiritual Anguish, the ultimate. The ultimate has Overdrive. What? Wait. Overdrive. When above 50% Bloodsoul, means when above 5, can be cast even with insufficient Bloodsoul, meaning the ultimate only costs 5. If there is extra Bloodsoul when casting, enters Overdrive, during which any ultimates costing over 0 cannot be cast. However, Bloodsoul recovery rate is increased by 20%. The overload ends when Bloodsoul recovers to 0. What? Okay, we definitely have to check that out closer, but that sounds very interesting. Okay, Valora gains immunity to all control effects and rushes toward the farthest or selected enemies on Ludgard, her horse, dealing 200% attack physical damage to enemies along the path and applying a stun for 1 second. Then she deals 225% attack physical damage to the target and nearby enemies. After her first rush, she channels for 15 seconds, during which she rushes towards the farthest enemy every 8 seconds, so like twice, dealing 200% damage to enemies along her path as well as the target. In this phase, enemies not yet affected by a rush are prioritized. After each rush, she deals 225% physical damage to enemies in a cone around the nearest target, and each rush during her ultimate leaves Hellfire on the ground for 15 seconds, dealing 150% attack to enemies within range. Yeah, we have to check that out. I mean, ultimate, overdrive, superdrive, hyperdrive, the passive, right? How do we get the 40% crit rate? What exactly is Hellfire area? How can you properly assign that? So she does not have a horse starting out. But alright, see, keep in mind though, base stats, no copies, level 1 abilities is what we're testing with here. Alright? Keep that in mind. Just so you don't get like a false idea. Like you can see, right? 0 copies, level 200, but obviously no additional investment. So, alright. I don't know why Baphomet has to be deployed, but he is, right? We can't even pull off a full moon, but maybe we don't need to. Alright. So we have one area of Hellflame. Here we get the ult. I think it looks so clean. That guy dies. She rushes in. She deals a bunch of damage. These are the burning fields. Can we check her stats? We can't. Unfortunately, we currently can't check her stats to see if she's actually gaining the crit buff. But look at this. So these flames are the rush. This flame should be like the impact slash death. And also she's tall. She's tall. Holy. Also it kind of looks like she's wielding a sword rather than like her lance to start fencing. But what we now need to figure out is what is Overdrive, right? But from what I've seen right here already, like 40% attack bonus is crazy. We don't have any unit in the game currently that can increase their attack. And if you think back to Night of the Hunt, the talents saying after the ultimate increases attack by 25% was always the strongest when it was there. So, alright, let's try this again. So we get our rush. We leave these soul burn stacks, nice, on these 2 targets. And now, wait, how are we casting this at 3? How is that even possible? Is 3 the earliest we can cast it, or can we cast it just like whenever we want? Alright, so 3 seems to be the earliest we can cast it, and then you see we're basically losing. Aha! 50% of her cost. So her ult costs 6. You can start casting it at 3, and then with a 20% increased Bloodsoul recovery, you have to spend the remaining 3. You have to regenerate the remaining 3 to pay the ult cost debt, and then the Bloodsoul recovery can recover again. That is pretty overpowered. So what this means is even though it costs 6, you can start it at 3, and while her ultimate is already running, you then get the last 3 20% faster back. So that is really good. Like, really good. Damn. And I don't even think there's like any massive drawbacks with Overdrive state, right? Like, looking at that, it doesn't really seem too bad. Like, it just seems like free Bloodsoul recovery, no? Like, you go in, pay half, get the other half faster back than you would usually generate 3, and there you go. Alright, so this ultimate has Overdrive. When above 50% of the Bloodsoul can be cast even with efficient, If there is extra, enters Overdrive, casting over 0 cannot be cast, however Bloodsoul recovery rate is increased. Overload ends when Bloodsoul recovers to 0. So these are the 2 ways, right? You either wait for it to be cast at 6, or you obviously cast it at 3 and then you have to like pay the debt. Even though right here, for example, now we are using it at 6, but there shouldn't be any difference in damage output. Besides, I guess you could say us being able to position the ult a little better with more time. But I really like that. That is fucking amazing. That is really, really good. Like, big fan, big fan. She looks like someone you really want to go for. I mean, she is a light armor ancestor, holy. But, oh, it's going to be an exciting time. And especially if they introduce another game mode that gives meat, we might be able to get our hands on her faster already. Overall prognosis right now, it's going to be 2 to 2.5 to 3 to 3.5 months, depending on how much you currently have and how much you're going to need in the future. On that note, also Julius testing, proper Julius testing, summoning him, gearing him, testing him out is going to happen later today live on stream. Peace.